Today I woke up with what felt and feels like the totality of my karmic weight weighing on my heart and my body and my being. Just this crushing weight of all kinds of ancestral victimhood, pain, if anyone has ever read The Notes from the Underground by Dostoevsky, like that guy, it's just like existential dread. I've woken up today feeling the entire karmic weight of existential dread weighing on my heart. And I almost, in fact, for a little bit of time, for an hour or two, followed the temptation to just be in bed. To be like, I will be paralyzed by this all day. And then I remembered my own advice, which is anytime that I'm feeling anything whatsoever, good, bad, heavy, light, joyful, sorrowful, I just go into the woods. And going into the woods is healing. So I walk down to the forest, and I notice, wait a minute, we have this burn pile I've been putting off for some time. I'm burning it today. And so here I am, ritualistically burning the weight of universal human existential dread. I offer it to the fire. Magically. So if you sometimes, anytime if you're in your life, have felt the weight of this existential dread, and if it's something that occurs in your life sometimes, I invite you to offer it to this fire, which is intentionally designed by the somatic intelligence of my body, which brought me here, and of God, which guides the somatic intelligence of my body, intentionally designed to burn away that weight. That it may turn to smoke and ash and flame, to be returned to God, purified. Now, it's not necessarily that simple, though it is. For there's some part of me that is wondering, is that not weight that is meant to be felt by me? Am I supposed to dive into the feeling of the weight and feel what it is trying to tell me, as opposed to wanting to shed it, burning away, offer it to the fire, get rid of it? There is value in each side. Some forms of weight present themselves in order to be released. Some forms of weight present themselves in order to be felt and then released by way of feeling. So the burning of the fire and the feeling of the feeling are not mutually exclusive. The fire is simply what chose itself to help today. So I'm working with that medicine, because up there I was trying to feel, to just sit with it and feel it. And those waters are and were murky and muddy and maybe I'll have to return to them. All that to say is sometimes all it takes is one little action, one little step, because I was pretty ready to fall into the depths of the density and just kind of stay stuck there and drown in the waters, which felt like victimhood, like, oh, why is this happening to me? Oh, I feel so weak. Oh, poor me, woe is me. The moon just entered Scorpio, I believe, and Pluto's doing something. And so I took that one step that was like, all right, if I'm going to be basking in this existential dread, I might as well at least do it in the forest, where I could be held by the trees and feel in reciprocity with the peace of the trees. For them, all that stuff is just nutrients. And it's just purified, and they're just like, send your worst, send your best. We'll stay still like mountains. Like mountain sages. Like trees. And so I took that step. I had no idea that I was going to have this fire. But in taking that first step, then I was guided to the next step, which I needed today. To bring me deeper into healing, devotion, releasing, and flow and presence. So if and when you are ever feeling paralyzed by the weight of your karma, of your pains, first off, I want to express it's okay and even necessary to feel those things. But if it's like paralyzing you and you're getting nowhere with it, and the feeling is a little bit difficult, then like feel into yourself, what is something that would help right now? What is that first step which I can take? which might guide me to something akin to this prayerful fire of transformation and release, which such fires exist anywhere and everywhere in the world, and they magically are burning incessantly, like fountains of divine flame, inextinguishable. Out there in the world, sacred temples of the earth and sky and heaven and God. And then just take that first step and let the step and each step that comes after it just guide you. And get out of your own way. Feel what you need to feel. Allow the feelings to move through your body. Do not tune them out. Do not numb yourself. Do not enter patterns of avoidance to avoid the fullness and the weight of this feeling. Find ways to work with the feeling in order to turn it into healing. And your soul and God and your body and your mind and your will guide you, especially if you pray for the guidance and you actually take action when it begins to arise. I believe that's the message, that's the transmission. I'm going to put more wood on this fire, and then I'm going to sit with a tree and feel more deeply that which I must feel. Blessings to you. Thank you. One more thing. This wood, right here, I hereby open energetically to receive anything which you need to throw into the fire. Right here, focus your intention through your heart into this exact piece of wood, which exists in this present moment, which is now a different present moment for you, but which is nevertheless the same presence and presence of time in which we coexist and co-create reality. Send anything that needs to be burned to this piece of wood, and may the fire of transformation transmute and release any weight, any burdens, anything at all which needs to be burned away by this fire. All in alignment with God, truth, divinity, and freedom.